All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the Harwich Board of Health meeting to order for February 21st, 2024, 6:30 PM in the Don B. Griffin Room. As required by law, the town may audio or video record this meeting. Any person intending to either audio or video record this open session is required to inform the chair. Anybody? All right. Any public comment? Hello.
Yeah, good evening, and thank you. Patrick Otten, East Harwich. Several months ago, last fall, I gave you a copy of the Assembly of Delegates proposed resolution number 12 dealing with pesticides. Do you remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm just here this evening, to ask what the Board of Health's position is on that, because I think it's critical that the land and waters that our town owned are taken care of properly. There's just so much evidence of the harm that's done to our properties with pesticides. So I'd like to know what the board thinks, or what they, if it can be put on as an agenda item for additional discussion.
Yes.
I definitely would.
We're looking at that for March.
Oh, good.
Put it on
Wonderful.
for March.
And I would be able to attend and present?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
good,
Mhm.
good,
Yes.
excellent.
All right.
Is there any other communication I can send to you?
So we will get you on the agenda for March, and I will email you that date and time, and then whatever you want to present to the board.
Okay.
Just make sure that we have copies of it
Yeah.
prior to the Wednesday before the meeting.
All right,
We can get that distributed to the board members.
excellent, very good. I
All right.
appreciate it, so
All
thank
right.
you.
Thank
Okay.
you. Any other comments? Anybody online?
I am online. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, my name is Kathleen Fernier, and I own the property at 40 Ocean Avenue. And I had sent an email in to Carrie and to the board, and I'm not sure if you've gotten it in time. I'm calling about the septic system at 38 Ocean Avenue.
So we're not on that agenda item yet. It is coming up. We just got to
I'm
get through
sorry.
a couple
I
of housekeeping
I
things,
just
and
got
then
in,
we'll open that
and
agenda.
all right. Sorry.
No, that's
All right.
okay. It's good to know you're there, Kathleen.
Yeah, we'll get back to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Sure. Okay, minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes? All right, you want to read all the, I guess we ought to do each one separate.
Accept the minutes of September 19th meeting,
2023?
2023.
I second that.
I agree.
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
All right, that one's done.
Accept the minutes of October 17th, 2023.
Is everybody? Any questions?
Done? I second that motion.
Okay, vote?
Aye.
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 Accept the minutes of January 17th, 2024 meeting minutes.
Agreed. I second that motion.
Vote?
Aye.
Aye. Aye?
Aye.
All right. That was the last one, all right. Okay. All right, we have no old or unfinished business. New business. You want to read that one?
Yes. A reconsideration of previously approved variance conditions, 38 Ocean Ave.
Open up a public hearing?
Yep.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Dan Speakman. Here with
Nancy
Nancy Hanron. Oh, you want these screen cards?
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
we were here last month, and we talked about all the variances and so forth, and there was some discussion about finishing off the basements and so forth. So, I think there was a little confusion
Confusing.
between the owner and the architect and the whole situation, so hopefully we can get this all cleared up here tonight.
All right.
So, I think we gave you copies of the plan for the finished basement.
Yep.
So, I was just talking to Nancy and just going over this plan, making sure that everything is as she would like to have it. And there's a little bit more confusion with the architect, because she had intended to want to have that whole basement area, see underneath where the porch is, she wanted to be able to finish that off as well, but he didn't include that. So, in our discussions this evening, I'd like to get that included if we could.
So that's not this storage area?
Yes.
That's the
yes,
storage area,
yes,
because
yep.
to me, it looks like it's being finished under that.
You know this, I just don't want to have, I didn't want to close it off. I want just big open space for shelving and things like that.
You
no
interpret
door,
that
no
as
wall.
being
I don't want
finished
door
then?
and walls.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
All right.
So that storage space would be open, finished space, part of the rec room, as opposed to
Yeah.
just storage? Okay.
Okay, all right. All right.
And this is at the front of the house, away from the septic system?
Correct.
That
Yes.
The expansion is,
Yep.
All right. So now that we have the updated. All right. Does the board have any questions?
So as opposed to last month, this is just that small area kind of off into the alcove being used as storage
Last month on
space?
this one, I had said to the board that the only thing we wanted to finish was the stairs coming down in the bathroom. That turned out not to be so. So, at this point, we'd like to be able to finish off that whole area in the basement.
The entire basement?
Yeah.
so it's going from a crawl space to a full foundation, and the foundation is extending out to where the deck is as well, and then the whole area is being finished.
So the deck isn't gonna be on a sonotube anymore, that's gonna
Oh,
be in the
no, we're not
foundation?
expanding the
We
deck.
got two different things going on here. The deck is one thing, the porch, where the screened-in porch is now, is the area that we're talking about, where it says
Right.
storage.
Okay.
We're not talking about the porch area.
Front, okay.
That will still be on sonotubes.
But what's an existing area now will be finished.
Right. That was,
It's at the discretion of the board. We do have abutters that wanted to be heard, one that could not be present and submitted an email, and Ms. Pruner, who is online, so if the board wants to hear their input before you make a
Do
decision.
you want to read the email?
Yeah, I'm happy to start with the email and get that over quickly. This is from Ken and Sue Miller. They were unable to attend the meeting tonight. However, they would like to express their opposition to any proposed basement footprint expansion that would include the area to the east abutting Ocean Ave under the existing porch. There have been several house lifts rebuilds in the last several years, and this has never been allowed, including a severe basement limitation imposed on their own project at 12 Ocean Ave. In fact, the most recent hearing, the builder, Dan Speakman, or Speakman, whoever, if you were the builder or Speakman Building, I'm not sure who, said that this was not going to be the case. We will fully support the demolition and new construction at 38 Ocean Ave, but it seems like the requested basement finish is converting the current legal two-bedroom to a three-bedroom with very close proximity to the septic system. Again, not previously allowed in the past.
And then we have somebody online.
Yeah, we have Ms. Pruner online.
Is it Catherine? Is that her?
Yep, Kathleen, if you want to speak?
Yes, I concur with everything that Ken and Sue Miller said. I watched the last meeting, and I thought it was very, very clear. when Mr. Miller had asked Mr. Speakman about how the porch, there was no confusion about supposedly the small deck that's going to be on the side of the house. There was no confusion between that and the porch in the front. And he said it would be on the sonotubes. It's all since changed. I'm requesting the Board of Health to delay approving the installation of the septic system, and I sent an email to Carrie and to the Board of Health this afternoon, and possibly it didn't get there in time. Pending a receipt of a notarized letter from Mr. Speakman that he agreed to verbally yesterday morning, or maybe it was the day before, guaranteeing repair or replacement of my septic system at 40 Ocean Avenue in the event that it is damaged as a result of the installation at 38 Ocean Avenue. These are tiny little lots. I left several messages for him since mid-January and only received a response yesterday after contacting the owner, Nancy Hanman. During this conversation, he verbally agreed to this and said to send him a letter and he would sign and have it notarized. My attorney will have it in the mail by Friday, and thank you. And there was nothing that was said at the last meeting that indicated any expansion to the street. At the time when I had my basement done, I also have a porch in the front of my house, and I was told that could not be put out to the street because it was dangerous to any underground utilities or the pending upcoming sewerage project. So that was an absolute no at the time. So here we are again after the appeal process, not too long after the appeal process with the CBA ended, that we're back with a different plan. So I thank you for listening.
So if I can just clarify a little bit of confusion, the variances for the septic system have already been granted. The setbacks
Right.
that they asked for at the time don't change with what they're proposing. That's the only control that we have. We don't have any control over how close to the street they get. Whether there's a crawl
Right,
space
but
or
what
a
I'm
full
saying is
foundation.
their septic system, and this has been an issue since the very beginning. I've talked to the owner about it several times, and Mr. Speakman about it once before, and he did guarantee that his response was, well, you don't know, referring to the reputation of his company, and that he would definitely do it, so he'd be comfortable putting it in writing. So now that just happened, and so I would request that you have, that the Board of Health have some protections for abutters.
So we do make sure that you're notified of the projects when they're encroaching to the property lines. You have been made aware. You have the ability to reach out to the contractor. The board cannot get involved in civil matters if there is an incident. Projects
Right,
like this
I
happen
understand that.
all
I
the
was
time.
asking for consideration.
Yeah, we got to anticipate that Dan is going to do his job, and in the event that something happens, that he's going to be, be held accountable and to take the necessary steps to rectify any grievances
Right,
that you
and
might
he said
have.
he would, and he would sign it. I'm just waiting for, when this letter gets to him, he sends it back to me, then the receipt of the letter, and I have a guarantee in writing.
Yeah, we just can't
that
hold up the permitting process. The
can't
only thing
hold
the
it up,
board can
yeah.
do tonight is vote on whether they're going to allow the full foundation and the finished space. So that's what they're here voting on tonight. And I
Right, I
definitely
understand.
appreciate and can understand your concerns with the size of the lots and the proximity that the systems are to each
Right.
other. And I don't think
And I
the
have
board
nothing
or-
against the demolition and the new construction,
Yeah.
but this is a concern of mine. This is a
Yep,
concern
and it's a
of
valid
mine.
concern. It's not.
The whole process is a
it's not-
concern of many neighbors.
It's definitely something that you should be concerned with, but we can't vote tonight on something that could happen. We have to take, cross
Right,
that
I'm not
line if
asking
it
you
does
to
happen.
vote. I was asking for a delay to be held off.
And I'm just saying, we don't have that authority based on a civil concern of something that hasn't happened.
Okay,
So I just want you to understand what we can do and what we can't do for you.
right. Then I'll just have to go on the word of the contractor.
Okay.
So just so the board understands what you're voting on tonight too. And definitely Ms. Pruner's concerns were really weighed heavily when we were reviewing the variances for the septic system. We had been in touch with the state on multiple occasions to get some clarification on whether this is something that we could approve. So it wasn't something that we just quickly, we asked the engineer to redesign, to accommodate, to try to get as much room between the systems as possible.
Is this Carrie, or
Yes.
to whom am I speaking at?
Yep.
Yes, it's Carrie.
Yep, it's Carrie.
Carrie's been
Yes.
absolutely wonderful through the whole process.
Just doing my job.
Thank you.
I did, if you don't mind if I speak for a
ahead.
second. I did talk with Kathleen the other day, and I told her, I got no issue, whatever goes on here, if we interrupt part of her system or whatever, we'll take care of it, whatever it is. I'm not concerned about it, you know?
So are you the person that she's waiting for to get this signed document or back?
I'm sorry?
The document that she's waiting for, that she said that she would have by Friday, is that coming from you?
No, it's coming, I told her to make up.
My
make up a
my
letter and send
attorney is
along
sending
me.
it to
We'll
him.
do it, and we'll sign
Okay.
it, you know what I mean?
But
We'll review it first.
I've called him since mid-January and wasn't able to, only after I called Nancy Hanron, the owner of the property, and she was able to talk to him and get him to return my call.
I'm happy to take care of whatever needs to be done, okay? I mean, I don't know what else to say, Kathleen.
I understand.
All right. All right.
And the other option that you do have, Kathleen, if there is any problems during construction, you can do a letter to us that would be put in Dan's license file. If we get multiple concerns, we do call licensed installers in front of the board and
Right.
try to
Well, I
address
have,
any issues.
I have hired an engineer, and he sent me advice, which I sent on to Dan, and Dan, it would be that once the hole is dug, I could have pictures taken if I'm not right near at the property, then I don't live there year-round, and that the pictures would show that there was the right amount of trenching and barriers under OSHA rules that would protect my system from any collapse from the sand. It's all sand, so
Yep,
Okay. All right.
thank you.
you're welcome.
If we don't have any further, we'll close the public hearing.
Yep.
Motion to,
Motion to accept the,
we're going to close the hearing, you have to close the hearing, right?
close the
Motion.
hearing. Motion to close the hearing.
All right.
All right.
Second? Second. Vote?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and now we open up,
Now you can open to vote.
now we're going to open to vote. So do we have any further questions for the board?
I do not.
No, I don't either. Okay. So you can read the,
Motion to accept the previously approved variance conditions with the full basement now instead of a crawl space? Is that the idea?
No, it's a full basement instead of, finished full basement instead of a limited area that was to be finished.
I think would be, I think it's option one, right?
Option one.
Is that the one?
Yes.
That's to continue.
Okay,
Option two.
Option 2.
option two. Move to approve the reconsideration of previously approved variance condition for 38 Ocean Ave with the following conditions. The dwelling is restricted to a maximum of 2 bedrooms. No further increase in habitable space or square footage without further review by the Board of Health. No garbage disposal is allowed. The conditions and approvals shall be recorded at the Barnstable Registry of Deeds.
Okay. Any second?
Second that motion?
Vote?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Good luck. All right. the next one.
Zilpha Road.
That goes with- Oh, you get two.
Everyone, I'm Ed Fleming.
Okay, all right. You wanna,
Yes. Reconsideration of a previously approved variance conditions, 41 Zilpha Road.
all right.
Dan Speakman again.
Yes, open the public hearing. You're it.
Me is Ed Fleming, the owner of the property. So we have a similar situation here. We just want to get this straightened out. I think that we did show, in this case, the finished basement, but we've got it definitively outlined on this plan tonight, so that there's no question about what's to be finished and what isn't. I think it's the very same situation we just had at Ocean Avenue, where I think the only issue is the finished basement.
All right, is there anybody online that wants to, I see there's another. Is anybody online? Okay. All right, any questions or comments?
I don't have any.
So the only question I had or comment was the office space on the main level. We need to have a 5-foot cased opening to eliminate that as being a bedroom per our definition.
It's a double door, right?
Which level?
On the main level, the office space,
That's
right now it's a 4-foot cased opening it shows, so we just need that increased to 5.
Did we show a 4-foot opening there, Carrie?
Yep, and we need 5 feet.
Oh, we need 5, okay.
Yep.
All
So is
right,
that
we'll
like
adjust that
Set
then.
of glass doors, is that what that is?
We'll have to put a 5-foot cased opening instead of a 4-foot cased opening. All
Yep,
right.
so no doors to afford privacy, just it needs to remain open.
That's fine.
And that can be revised when it comes in with a building
Yeah,
permit.
Yeah, no problem. It was always 4, so that's why I told the architect to make sure we put a 4-foot opening there. That's my fault.
That's okay, we changed the bedroom definition about a year ago, so,
You said no doors even if they're glass?
no, yep, no doors.
Cased opening. Privacy, no privacy. That's the whole idea.
Yeah, the whole idea of an office is to have some privacy. I do still work for a living and, you know,
Yep.
have to close the door.
So our bedroom definition is a regulation, so it has to be followed.
Okay,
If you're seeking relief from that regulation, you would have to add it into the variance, and I don't know that,
That's not a, that's
It
a
would
kind of,
be one
that's
that-
not a good situation.
I'll have to tell
it was
everybody
written
to be
for a
quiet.
reason, so.
Tell everybody to be quiet.
There are ways to, I mean, to create privacy without, or not, but quietness without the privacy, I should say, that if you get creative, maybe putting the door on closer to the bedroom as opposed to closer to the hallway, you might get a little bit more
Okay.
relief from if it's just you and your wife going into the primary bedroom as opposed to what's going on out in the living room.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, any questions?
No, as long as that is an understanding, I don't have any.
So then, should he read into that,
Option 2.
Yeah, you can add that condition.
all right,
It's going to be a 5-foot,
Cased opening.
hey,
5-foot cased opening on the first floor from the office to the hallway.
all right,
right, okay. So, move to approve the reconsideration of previously variance conditions for 41 Zilpha Road with the following conditions. The dwelling is restricted to a maximum of 3 bedrooms. No further increase in habitable space or square footage without further review by the Board of Health. No garbage disposal allowed. The conditions and approval shall be recorded at the Barnstable Registry of Deeds. And number 5, it's gonna be a 5-foot opening from office to the hallway instead of a 4-foot.
Okay,
Right.
second,
Second that motion?
and vote. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. All right,
Very good, thank you very much.
all right, thank you.
Thank you.
Aye. Not quite as confusing as the last time. Okay. All right. So we've got the third one coming up.
Riley,
All right.
C, variance request.
Thank you.
You're doing Hiawatha, right?
Yes.
You want to read that one?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Variance request,
You-
Title 5, 310 CMR 15.2119 Hiawatha Road. To consider variance request of Title 5, 310 CMR 15.00.
Evening. For
Good
the record,
evening.
I'm John O'Reilly, representing the Willys. They may be on the call. I see Rebecca up there. So, when, a few years ago, the gentleman that was here before me did a design and an install on a failed leaching facility for the existing three-bedroom home. The system received several variances from this board, and one of them was no expansion of habitable space without review by the Board of Health. So Wiley's purchased the property and are looking, own the property and are looking to do a tear-down rebuild. They are in a floodplain, which means that they have to elevate the house on a flood-compliant foundation and get the living space above the flood waters. And they've come up with a house design that we've been through conservation. They received a negative a determination of applicability. They are on track to go to the Zoning Board of Appeals because of the nature of the structure being non-conforming. And we're here tonight to review the habitable space of the house and look at the repairs and improvements that we are proposing. So what we're trying to do is they designed the house around the existing leaching facility to maintain the provided setbacks that the house was afforded on the original design. And in my time meeting with Carrie and her pre-file review, we talked about possibly bringing in, replacing the existing 1,000-gallon tank with a new tank, and then putting some treatment so that we could address the nitrogen, given the sensitivity of this lot being 1 or 2 doors away from the beach and the sound. We have a high groundwater table here, and again, we're in a flood zone. So that's what we ended up doing. We did propose a 1,500-gallon tank and a Star Septitech processing unit, which is geared to deal with reduction of nitrogen, as well as BOD and TSS. We did give you existing and proposed floor plans. Like I said, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. I can read the variances. I don't know if you typically want that, but I guess I'll stop there and answer any questions the board has.
There's gonna be 2 floors?
There's actually a third floor on top of it. It's
There's gonna be someone to the house next door?
yeah, I guess there's several, I don't know the history of the road in great detail, but there have been several houses that have done this, tear down and rebuild because of the floodplain.
So John, with the plan design, the stairs, I'm looking at the second floor plan, and the stairs going up, I'm guessing to the third floor. It looks like they show an open railing, and I think a half wall at the top of the stairs. But there's this mechanical room that's right in the center that I would imagine is enclosed. So if there's a wall going up the stairs, it doesn't really constitute an open railing to eliminate privacy.
We did, you had the same comment when we
Okay.
met.
I couldn't remember what the,
And we had shown, the original design had shown a closed-in stairway running up to the office loft area. And what they ended up doing is, there'll be no door on the bottom, of course, and no door on the top, but they did open up the stairway once you get to that third floor level as an open. But there is that mechanical room.
so the stairway is enclosed until you get to the top.
And on both sides until you get to the top.
Is that a problem?
So I think I would have to refer back to our bedroom definition, because I think it says open railing, but it also says half wall at the top. But I don't know if just this small section of railing would eliminate that being defined as a bedroom as it lays out, just because of the amount of privacy.
As far as the second floor
It's hard
family
to
room.
visualize, yeah. Because you have this wall for the mechanical room, but then you have an open railing at the top of the stairs, but then the hallway is so narrow, so it's hard to see how that would impact this wall, or how this wall would impact that railing.
Well, the top of the stairs for the stairway looks like it's, let's see, 8, 6.
Now, are you looking
8
on the
feet.
second floor, or are you looking at these steps on the third floor going into the office area?
A3 and A4,
Yeah,
if you're
yeah.
looking at that.
The stairway is about,
Oh.
from the second floor to the third floor is about 8.5 to 9 feet long, front to back. And the open stairway is about half of that at the top. So you do have an open stairway for about half of the stairwell as it goes downstairs. But there is that mechanical room at the, from the family room on the second floor. We did talk to the designer, and, we felt that half the stairway being open would meet your definition of not privacy.
And what's the length of that railing? The length
It's
of the room?
about, the length looks to be about between 4 and 4.5 feet, based on the scale, and that's a length, and of course, the railing would be 36 inches high, typical railing.
And that's an open railing, like pegs, not...
Balusters
We,
open.
are we looking at the office loft on the third floor as far as an open space, or the second floor family room?
So the second floor, you have the family room, the mechanical room, and then there's these stairs that go upstairs to a third
And
level.
that's totally closed off.
And that mechanical room has a wall that goes up to the ceiling height, and then at the top of
Only on the third floor it's open.
at the stairs, it's open.
And there's no issue with definitions of bedrooms on the second floor.
This one, I think, is close. If we can keep the 4.5 feet, because you do allow 2 3-foot cased openings to alleviate privacy, so, I mean, they are kind of like adjacent to each other, where you have the stairs opening and then this opening. But that enclosed stairway, most of the way up, still
So the concern would be with that being like that, that this could be could be a bedroom, is
Yeah,
that
for sleeping purposes, yeah.
The second floor,
the second floor?
The office loft
Oh, the office,
yeah,
third floor.
would
Okay.
be your fourth bedroom.
I think you have the two bedrooms on the first floor with the kitchen, sitting room, and an open office. And then on the second floor, you have a family room, outdoor deck, and then the primary bedroom with the primary bath and so forth. So I don't know if the family room would qualify as a potential bedroom, because you have to walk through that room to get to the third floor, get to the deck, or the primary bedrooms.
Yeah, the family room I wouldn't consider a bedroom. It's that loft office that I'm having a tough time with not seeing the privacy that it offers.
if you,
And I think if we do, the 4.5 feet, if there's a way to push it, again, push that opening railing to 5 feet, I don't know how that impacts that mechanical room, if there's a way to,
Well, we did look at, after you and I had met and this question came up, we did look at, the redesign of the interior of the home, and it started spiraling out of control, because these folks have worked very hard to get to this point. So I don't know, I mean, if we can make that railing a 5-foot railing, I don't know if I could say yes to that, because I'd have to talk to the designer. And you're talking, Carrie, you're talking about the upper half of the stairway being 5 foot instead of 4.
Yep. 4.5, if there's a way to get that extra. I mean, that would make me feel more comfortable with it. And it's still, those spaces are always questionable, but that's just my thoughts on the way it's whatever the board.
So the open railing on the office loft on the third floor, currently 4.5 feet, expands to 5, clears the office loft of being defined as a bedroom.
I think, Rebecca, I don't know if you want to chime in, but I think we'll have to try to make that work. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at redesigning the floor plan to move that mechanical somewhere else, to open up that stairwell. And I just don't know enough of of architecture to say
And
no-brainer.
what I can do is revisit our definition of a bedroom. I just don't have it in front of me to read. And if it's fine the way it is, we can keep it the way it is without the changes
Okay.
after I get a chance to review it. So I don't know if you want to approve it with that alternative, that if I get a chance to review it and it is, because I know that you sent me these floor plans before.
Yep. you
And then
kicked
when
them
I
out.
was reviewing it for the site summary, this
Yes.
stood out to me again, so I just,
We had a solid wall up top originally, which was an issue with the definition.
so we could approve it with that condition. and then-
Pending the definition of the third floor office loft
whether the 5
as
foot
a
is
bedroom.
required or not.
And if it's not, then, and then if
Has
it
to come
doesn't,
back
then,
to
If
full
it
board.
satisfies, right.
yeah.
Because the only other piece that I'm thinking of is in our definition, I know we have those 3-foot, 2 3-foot openings as an alternative to the 5-foot cased opening. So whether the stairway going up, you consider one opening, and then the side view, a second opening, and then you get the 5-foot across from the 2 spaces. It's a little bit of a gray area, but we there's always a gray area.
So you're saying up at this point, widening this at the top?
Well, if you read our definition, it does say 2 3-foot cased openings. We generally think of them as one here and one there, but in this case, you would almost be reading it as here's one at the top of the stairs, and then here's your second with that railing. So, keeping it 4.5 feet you know, and then approving it with that caveat, or requiring the 5-foot railing, open railing.
So is it easier for us to approve it?
I would say approve it pending the definition of the third floor office loft as a bedroom or not. That leaves it vague enough to let powers that be determine the definition, and
It would just be reviewing the bedroom definition rather than making them come back.
So either I satisfy
The
Carrie
5-foot.
by the 5 feet, she looks into the 3 feet and 3 feet, or worst case scenario, we redesign that second floor to move that mechanical.
It's just setting a precedence of how we want to treat those spaces.
Yeah, I'm kind of one of those where we have the regulations and definitions for a reason. And when we start playing with it, and after a while, it just gets out of hand.
And I don't think we defined the half wall other than the height. So I don't think when we talked about that open railing at the top of the stairs, we said no taller than 42 inches, but we didn't define how long it had to be. So
All right,
that's the other
all right. All right,
piece, that if we could keep it as close to the 4.5 feet, I think that it might satisfy that elimination.
We may be there, because I'm looking at very small plans, and I'm estimating what the scale is, because they're reduced, but it's pretty close. I mean, just checking again, it's pretty close to at least 4.5 feet, and I would think that we could probably massage it to get to 5 if
5
we had
feet.
to.
All right. Any other-
I do have a question on the bathrooms. It looks like there's 2 full bathrooms on the first floor that it's in what you said, and then there's a powder room with a toilet. And there's also a toilet on the 3rd floor. And I guess my concern is if the ones with just the toilet will, especially the 3rd floor one, will end up having a shower in it.
And more like a guest space as opposed to an office.
The-
And you could write that condition too, to have it remain a half bath,
Okay,
to not afford those guests.
Yeah, the intention is a half bath,
Yeah.
not sneaking something in
I know.
after the fact. I hate that we live in that kind of society, but that's where we're dealing with.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Well, because some people would.
Yes.
I-
All right, we'd add that too. All right. Anything else? All right, so, you want to try making this motion?
Okay,
Give it a try.
okay, all right. Okay, in granting the previously variance to the board, impose the following order of conditions. One question I asked before that, when do you intend to start construction?
They have zoning board of appeals coming up, I believe, in March,
Okay,
and they need to select a builder and finish the design plan. So I would imagine no earlier than the fall
okay,
to start.
okay.
Is there a prohibition if it starts in the summer, or?
I don't think you can, yeah, I don't think you can do it in the summertime on that road.
Oh, well, the timing would be conditioned by the zoning board of appeals.
Okay, all right, all right. Property is restricted to a maximum of 3 bedrooms. No increase in habitable space or square footage without further review by the Board of Health. This approval letter and conditions must be recorded at the Barnstable County Registry of Deeds. Number 4, the 3rd floor, let's see, has a half bath only, and you're going from a 4.5 to a 5-foot
Railing?
railing.
Railing.
Okay. And is this, would that be 4 and 5 the same condition?
Yep,
Okay.
and then the signed maintenance agreement.
And the sign may
For the alternate.
say,
On the backside.
oh, okay.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, the signed operation and maintenance agreement for the alternate system shall be submitted to the health department prior to release of the disposal system constructing the permit. The O&M agreement for the alternate system shall be included requirement for testing. This testing shall be conducted in accordance with the Board of Health protocol.
And no garbage disposal is allowed.
But it's inside there, I think it's in that definition.
Yeah, but you didn't.
You missed
That's right,
that one.
too. No garbage disposal
Okay.
allowed.
Okay,
Okay.
I second that motion.
all
Okay.
right.
All right.
Vote.
Aye?
I,
Aye. All right,
Thank you very much.
all right.
Are you gonna talk to Carrie later on about that, or how's that gonna work?
I do need your report.
The revised plans, if you
Yeah,
wanted
so
this.
we'll talk to the architect and the builder, actually the Gillies will, and we'll get a revised plan to carry on the
And if
permit.
it meets everything, then,
Yeah, for the building permit
The
would be,
building permit.
yep.
all right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay.
Report of the health director?
We have a lot of things going on in the department. I have reached out to our surrounding communities, Dennis, Brewster, Orleans, and Chatham, to see if there are any if they are interested in pooling together our PHE funds to complete an area-wide public health needs assessment. The intent of this assessment would be an opinion from our residents as to where they think gaps in services, and then to identify if these gaps are due to lack of programming or lack of public outreach. At this point, we are pending a meeting with Crescendo, the company that would conduct the assessment, and the other communities. We were supposed to meet on the day of the storm, but that got postponed. We also have a wellness fair, and there will be more information as we get closer to this. The PHE funds are helping us with a spring wellness fair. We have teamed up with Conservation, the Council on Aging, and the Cultural Center to host a large community health and environment event. Our wellness fair is going to be on the heels of the Tour de Trash, a conservation event, and will be held at the 204 Sisson Road building. We have a large list of attendees, and Kara from the Cultural Center was able to add some great draws for families, such as laser tag and face painting. The date for this is April 27th. Conservation event will start at 10 a.m., and the wellness fair will be at 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And again, I will provide more updates as the date gets closer. We received a wellness grant from the Cape Cod Municipal Health Group to conduct a spring walking challenge. There will be more details as we get closer to warmer weather. Our FDA food standards, we have enrolled in the standards program. This is a way for us to self-assess our own performance standards and receive support and grant funding for better training where we may have weaknesses. We also have a DPH summer intern. This is a college student who is finalizing their master's in public health, and they're going to assist us with any of the programs just mentioned above. We're just waiting on more details for DPH on when they will begin. So we've got a lot of things in the
Good.
works.
Good. All right. Correspondence, we don't have any correspondence other than that email, but you read that.
Yep.
All right. And the permits?
We got one, Dairy Queen is under new ownership, so we're just
Tough to
approving
believe, but
that. Oh, and MCE Dirt Works is a new installer, utility installer.
So, there's a big sign on Dairy Queen opening soon.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, you want to make a motion on that?
Make a motion to approve the permits for Dairy Queen and for the MC Dirt Incorporated, Michael Escher.
Dirtworks, okay.
Dirtworks.
I second that motion.
Vote?
Aye?
I,
Aye. Vote.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
I'm sorry, sorry, yes.
All right. Okay, all right. No other, and do I have a motion to
Motion to
adjourn?
adjourn.
Second that motion?
And vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Good.